This is the Razer Blade and this is the Zephyrus G16. The Razer Blade is a luxury gaming laptop. It's slim, it's powerful, it's also very expensive. It's very expensive. And you can spec it all the way up to NVIDIA's new RTX 5090 graphics. But if you just to let you know, the 5090 RTX 5090 is not a massive jump over last year's 4090. So keep that in mind. Now the ASUS ROG Zephyrus is a very portable and very good gaming machine, right? It's 16 inches. So this also offers the RTX 5090. But unlike the Razer Blade, ASUS keeps this graphic chip running at a lower power, and that's to control the heat. So it goes at a lower power to control the heat, which means that the performance is slightly lower. So what is the bottom line? The Razer Blade is all about performance and prestige, and the Zephyrus is all about being light and easy to carry, and so its power is a little lower than the Razer Blade. So that's a quick overview. Picking up a gaming laptop is actually very frustrating. It is very frustrating. And the reason is, if you look at the specs, two laptops can have the exact same GPU and CPU. But there's a massive distance, because what it comes down to is how much power the manufacturer lets them use. And that is known as the TGP. So the higher the TGP, the better is the performance. But that also creates a lot of heat and noise. And here's the problem. Most buyers, they find out about TGP after they've spent all the money. That's a big mistake. Figure it out beforehand. So what actually matters? The performance in gaming, not specs. How does it perform when you're gaming? How is their handling of heat and fan noise? You have to know this. Display quality is pretty much, obviously, you'll be able to see the display quality as soon as you go and check the laptop. And 2-3 more things that you need to find out is portability, if that's important for you, and battery. And then, of course, how much it costs, what kind of value it gives. Obviously, you've got a budget. If it fits into your budget, will you buy it? Will you buy it? No. First, you have to figure out whether it's the price of the laptop is actually worth it. And beyond this, everything is just marketing bullshit. So let's get down to brass tacks. The Blade 16 delivers excellent frame rates with NVIDIA's DLSS 4 and frame generation helping a lot in really demanding games. Gains over 4090 are quite noticeable, but it's not clear in every game title that you play. So this was the Blade 16, right? Now the Zephyrus G16 is powerful, no doubt. But as we told you before, the 5090 runs at a lower spec. It runs at lower wattage than even some other competitors. So maximum performance is lower. Max performance is lower than the Blade 16. So if we talk about performance, clearly the Blade 16 wins. It wins. And the next important thing is how it handles heat and the noise. So the Blade 16 in performance mode stays in the mid 70 degrees centigrade range for the CPU. Mid 70 degrees centigrade range for the CPU. And the fan noise is around 42 decibels. It's definitely there, but it's not like really loud. The G16, in some scenarios, surprisingly runs hotter. Even though it's 5090 has been runs at a lower wattage, still it runs hotter in some scenarios. Some owners, they do repasting to fix this, but that's not something every buyer will do. So again, the winner is the Blade 16. It's more consistent under heavy load. Now let's get down to something that for some people might be important, that is portability. The Blade 16 is currently 30% thinner than the previous generation. It's got an all metal build, right? And it kind of, people have said it's got a MacBook Pro feel. That's nice, man. MacBook Pro is so cool. So if it has a MacBook Pro feel, that's good. Now G16. The G16 is lighter than most gaming laptops is size. 16-inch laptops, gaming laptops, is lighter than them. And it's got really good speakers, and a keyboard is also awesome. So it's great to travel with. So if you want portability, G16 wins. Now the display. The Blade 16 has up to a 240 Hertz OLED panel. That means really sharp, colorful, and smooth display for gaming. The Zephyrus G16 also has a OLED panel. But whether you get exactly 240 Hertz or not depends on the specific configuration that you buy. So in terms of display, both win. There's no clear winner. Display, both of them are good. Let's come to price and value. Simply, the Razer Blade 16 is for $4,499 right now. The ASUS ROG G16 is for $2,799. That's a pretty big price difference, and this is both 5090, 5090. So if you look at it, with everything that the Razer Blade offers, everything that the Zephyrus offers, the better value is with Zephyrus at $2,799. Let's talk about a little bit of the problems that come up. Okay, with the Razer Blade 16, there are some software glitches once in a while. These have come up sometimes, especially with the Razer Synapse. And one, let's say, con is its price. It's very expensive. With the Zephyrus G16, it's hotter, it runs hotter. You don't get the full potential of the 5090 because it runs at a lower power. The GPU runs at a lower power. Now, how do you decide? So if you want like super performance and a premium build, MacBook Pro kind of build, go for the Razer Blade 16. If you want that's lighter, easier to carry, and cheaper, go for the Zephyrus G16. If you don't like heat and fan spikes and all that, make sure to avoid low power GPU models, Check the specs before you buy. So here's what I finally feel. If I were buying a awesome gaming laptop today, I'd take the Razer Blade. Yep, I'd take this one. There are many reasons to take the Zephyrus G16, but I'd take the Razer Blade 16. It's got consistent performance. The thermal control is quite good, makes it very dependable for high-end gaming. But then again, I'd take this one, but suppose I was traveling a lot, then I'd go in for a Zephyrus G16. So that's it. Hardcore facts, no fluff. Tell you what it is, the way it is. If you liked it, give it a like, share, subscribe, and come back to watch more videos like this.